In this video, we will be discussing using the Polysolid command. If you'd like to follow along with this video, please open the file using the Polysolid command.dwg located in the Working Files folder as discussed in the Working with this Dataset video. You create multiple segmented solids using the Polysolid command. Multiple segmented solids are 3D solids that consist of a rectangular profile and a single line path the rectangular profile follows. When creating a solid using Polysolid, you first set the width and height values for the rectangular profile. Then you draw the path of lines and arcs like drawing a polyline, or you can select existing geometry to define that path. Being able to set the size and create the path of the solid is vital to achieving the proper final results. First, let's check the del object variable to see what our setting is set to. The del object variable is set to 0. If it is not set to 0, set it to 0 now. What that means is that all 2D geometry used to create the 3D solids will be retained, which is what we want because we can then put them on a layer that we can freeze for future use. The Polysolid command is located in the Home tab, Modeling panel, and then we have the Polysolid command. Let's go ahead and click on it. Look at the command line window when you don't know what to do. As you can see, it's telling us to specify a start point, and we could just begin drafting. First, though, you want to make sure you look at the settings. Right now, our height of wall is 8 feet, which is fine. However, the width is set to 4 inches, which we actually want to be set to 5.5 inches. We'll go ahead and select the width option and type in 5.5 and press enter. For the justification, it's set to left right now, but if you wanted to change it, you could simply select it and change it there. Left is okay for what we want to do right now. We do want to select the outer wall existing polyline, so instead of actually clicking on object's already in the less than and greater than, and you can simply press enter to invoke that option. Let's go ahead and select the outer wall, and there's our finished wall. Again, it's not a wall object that you can control what height and width gets defined afterwards. This is simply a 3D solid that was generated using those options and the existing polyline. Note what's really cool about this is that it actually works on any kind of geometry. So you can create a 3D solid from any object that defines a height and a profile, even around curved areas and so on. Let's go ahead and press enter to repeat the last command. And let's go ahead and press enter again to select the object option and then choose the other outer wall. And very quickly, you now have your outer wall. Let's change our layer to A-wall because what we want to do now is define the interior walls. Now we have existing multi-lines in this file. However, we don't want to get rid of them in case we want to use them to plot, let's say, the 2D graphics and so on. Let's go ahead and start the Polysolid command. And the left justification is fine and the height is fine. However, we actually want to change the width. So let's go ahead and select width and type in 4 inches and press enter. Note that justification is set to left. We can then snap to the correct locations by simply snapping there and then snapping there. Press enter to end the command, and then press enter again to repeat the command, and you can continue drafting in the 3D walls by simply snapping to the existing 2D objects. Note that you can go around corners like this example here. I'll press enter to repeat the command, snap over here, and then snap over here. Again, pretty simple, very cool stuff. It just allows you to create that 3D solid using the 2D geometry. Note that if you select one of the objects we just created and navigate to the Properties palette, you'll see it is simply a 3D solid, not some quote-unquote wall-type object where you can actually add dimensions afterwards. If your design does require a change, you would simply delete the existing 3D solid and then simply use the 2D geometry to redefine your parameters.